Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Beatrice Ajayi. I'm an artist based in Glasgow in Scotland. Welcome. This is where I love to share my art process, what I get up to in my studio, the different mediums I use and the different subjects that I like to look at. I love using mixed mediums, and here you will see me play and play away. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for popping in, and if you've been here before, thank you for coming back again and spending time here with me on the channel, as I have fun creating artwork. I love art so much, so thank you for being here. I also want to thank the subscribers for putting your faith in me and joining me here on this journey. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the fact that you are sticking with me, and thank you so much for doing that. It just means a lot. And also, people will be able to see my videos more here on YouTube, so it's just awesome. And I love sharing my artwork. The purpose of my channel is to encourage people to be creative, to spend a little bit of time every day doing something that makes their heart sing. And yeah, so thank you so much for doing that and for spending the time. I was wondering what I would share with you guys this week. I've been really thinking about slowing down in my process and spending the time to create the quality of work that I want to pursue, the direction I want to go, the focus I want to put into my work. And so that's what I was doing this week. I was spending the time really focusing on my process and how to make it more specific, how to be more efficient, functional, all these different words to be used in the work. So I know that for sure I have been wanting to be more realistic in my subject matter when I'm painting. So I need to get my drawing skills to a place where I'm really comfortable drawing whatever I have in front of me. I like to draw, and I get things mostly looking the way they look in pictures, but I want to be more precise than that. So I know doing more drawings and making sure I have the resource in front of me helps me create a much better drawing. So that's what I was doing here. And I wanted to start focusing on the subjects that I want in my artwork. So I've really been spending time going through the different subjects. I know that I spent a lot of time looking at portraits just towards the end of last year. And this time I want to start focusing on the other elements I'm going to bring into my work, which is also the animals. So I've been going through this week, doing a lot of sketches to do with cheetahs. I really like the big cats. They're so interesting to me. And you might have seen a glimpse of some of my tiger work, a couple of videos past or so. But I wanted to look at the cheetahs and start drawing I love their silhouette. The silhouette is really interesting to me. And so I've been looking at that. And that's what I'm doing here in my sketchbook, is taking my time to draw or to sketch a cheetah, and then to add some of the other elements I want to add in my drawings as well. So that's what the progress is going to be for this. You're going to see how I bring other ideas in. I'm really interested in an abstraction of my subject. So I'm looking at how to overlay that in my videos. And I'll put some glimpses of other images of artwork I've created in the past where I've tried to overlap the abstract aspect of the process. So that's what I'm heading towards, but I'm trying to get the different segments that are going to be combined to create final art pieces. So I'm really wanting to get myself comfortable with my drawing so that I don't think it doesn't become a hindrance. I can get my proportions right. That's what I want to look at. Then, the use of color, having color stories. That's another area that I want to look at. All the different parts that bring my piece together in the narrative I have in my head. That is what I'm heading towards in my process for this year, going forward. Just always trying to enhance the use of my mediums in my art process and having fun while I'm doing it, really pushing to see where my mediums can take me, and the way that I want to layer that as well. So, and I think last time, I don't know if I mentioned that I really wanted to make things easier on myself. So sometimes I will be, say, taking a picture or scanning my sketches and then painting them separately on another piece of paper so that I can experiment with the way I use color and the different mediums. So that is all the things I'm doing, is to inform myself to get to a place where I'm really, really, really comfortable, where I can roll out of bed and just spit out a painting. Wouldn't that be awesome for all of us? And not think too much about the process, because it's become second nature. And I know my mediums, and I know how they overlay, or I know how to problem solve if something happens in a way that I didn't expect it to. So it's really important to know the layering process when you're dealing with mixed mediums and your artwork, because someone, especially the oil paint is the most complex of all, that refuses to play ball with other mediums. So it's always a last resort. So yeah, I'm really enjoying going through this and trying to be brave. One of the reasons I ended up just having a sketch with my pencils, coloring pencils for this, is because I'm really still afraid of adding color to my sketches. I mean, it may not look like that sometimes when you see my other paintings, but I love my sketches so much. And that's why I'm trying to think of a solution by printing out a copy of my sketch and painting on a separate piece, because I really don't want to start ruining my sketches. It would upset me a lot. I actually value my sketches more than my paintings at this point in time, though they all have their purposes, you know, and some artists only sketch or only draw. So I don't want to limit that process, but I really do love my sketches more. But I love playing with paint as well, and I love the texture, the feel when it's on the brush, the way it moves across your substrate. So yeah, I really enjoyed drawing this and adding different elements. And also another thing is I need to make sure that I start putting up some examples of the work I've done before, because as I was sketching this, I suddenly realized I didn't have any of my former paintings or subject matter in front of me. So I had to really push in my head to remember the elements I'm trying to bring into my sketch. So I'm really thinking through the process, you know, thinking about the things that I want to put into my artwork. So I need to make sure that I have those resources that I've created for myself in front of me, so that it helps inform my work as well. But I didn't let that stop me not having, for example, I didn't have the references for butterflies in front of me when I was doing this, but because I have been attempting to draw butterflies recently, I was still able to get something that looked similar to butterflies. But I really want to have actual pictures of butterflies for references in front of me. What I actually had here was an image of a cheetah on my iPad just off the screen. So that's what I was looking at to sketch this in. But I didn't have, like, you know, maybe a bothy like I've got in the background, which is like a little cottage in the Highlands or in Scottish hills. I didn't have the butterflies. I didn't have like trees, but I had the ferns, the little wheat kind of tendrils that you can see coming off in the background of the cheetah. That was part of the cheetah picture as well. So I had that there. But yeah, just pushing it into that whole, making sure that I can get things closer to realism. I really want to start doing that so that I can be more precise in where I want to go with my artwork, in the quality that I want to put for myself, what I consider quality of work, which really will push me. I feel like it's something that will push me, and I don't want to be scared of it anymore. So the challenge is on, the gauntlet has been thrown. And it's for me myself, it's a push from myself to get better at these areas of creativity. So it's the same thing I would say for yourself, is to take each step a little at a time and challenge yourself to be practicing different things to get you closer to your goal. I know that another thing I've been telling myself this year is to not give up. If I draw something or I paint something and I don't like it at all, I want to be able to still do that same process again, but slightly differently, like experiment, like we're in a lab. If I did this sketch of this cheetah and I didn't like it, I'm telling myself not to be scared to try again. So it's not like anybody's watching you for yourselves. So you don't have to show anybody your attempts at sketching or painting things, but it's not to be disheartened. It's to keep on trying the same actual subject matter over and over and over again. And it will improve because your observations will get better and better. So here I'm starting to bring in some of the other ways I've done things in the past, some of the abstraction. And if I was painting this, you could use collage materials or papers to fill in these hills that I'm doing right here in the background. So I am really looking at introducing that abstraction as actual patterns in my sketches, just to let me remember that that is an element I want to bring in, that I want to be very specific in adding pattern into my artwork. So I went ahead and filled in the different hills with shapes I could think of to represent abstracted papers or collage pieces that I could put into the artwork. So that was what my whole process was for this, was to remind myself of the elements I want to bring into my paintings and really go for it and not be scared of that. And when I went to the stage of painting, for example, I'd be able to remember what I want to bring in. Some of my other work, I have been bringing in portraiture with the animals, and I was very interested in the fact that I couldn't figure out a way of introducing the portrait into this piece. So I've left the main character of the story to be the cheetah. To be the cheetah, and I couldn't think of a way of introducing a figurative character. I think the maximum probably would be some kind of a figure in the distance or something if I wanted to bring that in. I just didn't feel like I wanted to interrupt this scene of the cheetah. I felt like the cheetah owned the story for whatever was going on here. So here I'm now bringing in the tail. The tail was not like this for the cheetah, but because I wanted to fill that space with something, and I wanted to fill it with something that connected to the cheetah, and just to use the full spread in a specific way, I then sketched in this tail for the cheetah. And I liked the way it resulted. But yeah, it filled in the space the way I wanted it to. And I was just continuously looking at different areas and thinking about how I wanted to progress with it. But yeah, I've been really enjoying sharing these times in the studio and really pushing myself personally to take my time and to create artwork that I will love, that I like the standard of. And I hope you're enjoying it. If you have any comments or suggestions about anything, please put them in the comments. Or you can also contact me through my website at beatriceajayi.com, which I have just at the bottom of the screen there. So feel free to let me know any suggestions or tips that you have regarding what I do here on the channel, or if you wanted to see anything else as well. If you were interested in asking me any questions at all regarding the creative process or different things, even my filming material. Like right now I'm actually filming with my phone, and I'm so happy that we can actually see the sketchbook in this video, because I actually forgot to turn on a specific light that I had, my ring light. I forgot to turn that on in this whole process, but I had spent a whole hour sketching this, so I was like, there's no way I'm repeating this. So thankfully it is clear enough for us to actually see in this video. My former videos in the past weeks were in my kitchen with natural light, but I just felt like I wanted more access to my artwork, my art materials. So I moved myself back into my physical studio so that I can just get up and do whatever I need to do without, going back and forth through two different doors. Also, one handy thing I did was for my coloring pencil, as I'm using it and I'm working through this process, it would kind of wear away because I'm using it quite a bit. And so I would have to sharpen it, midway through sketching. But I'd set up my electric sharpener just to my right. So it was really good because I could just put it in and just sharpen it within seconds and just keep going. And that is the level of efficiency that I want to bring into my practice as well. Whatever tool I need, I want it just to be available, ready to go. And I want to be able to remember where things are more precisely. So I am still working on my studio so that I can be more efficient. In fact, after I do this audio, I'm going to be going back into the studio to make sure that I start tidying things a little bit more again, because as you work through your process and you understand your creative journey, you will start to know what mediums you need, where to put them so that they're accessible, and you start getting used to how you organize yourself in your own art practice. So that is something I've been learning for myself a lot, to be able to have my palette right to my side, to have a bit of water, my tools for mark making. If I want to do collage, then I need to have my papers accessible. So there's a whole load of processes that I feel is so much fun, and it helps for me not to be bored because there's so much diversity in what I am doing. So now I'm adding another element to this sketch, to this drawing, which is that I love to do hoops, tendrils, which kind of remind me of vines and hanging from, just anything, wherever I can put it. And it took me a while to think about where to put it. But at the same time, as I said before, for the tail, it's to fill that space as well. So is there a technical reason that artists sometimes do things? And yes and no. So I wanted to add this element into my sketch, but at the same time, there was that whole thinking of where to put it. So you have to calculate in your head, where is it going to be appreciated? Where is it going to be of use? And working that out and putting it in there. So this was where I put it. And it felt odd because to me that is like a field. But at the same time, if I wanted to think about it now as I'm doing this audio, it could be like kind of an arch that you put maybe plants to grow on. I don't know. There's so many things you could think of. And I usually would put birds to hang on those as well, kind of like, a tree branch. That's sometimes what I would do with those as well. But I didn't add any birds in the forefront of this sketch. I kind of just left it to the butterflies. I think I did put some hints of birds in the distance, but that was all I added to this sketch. So yeah, I come along and think, right, I wanted to put a flower in. And this is what I'm saying, that whole thing of how you go about placing things, where you place them, and trying to make sense of that. So I started putting a flower just below its stomach here, the cheetah's stomach, and sketch that in. And it's this thing of when you're looking afterwards and like, do I like it? Do I not like it? But you go ahead and you do it, because sometimes you can't tell until you've done something, and you can always cover it over with something else, with another medium. So I never ever think, right, don't try it, because you don't know what it'll look like till you put it in. So I'm gonna let you watch the rest of this video with some music, and I will see you guys next Sunday here on my channel. Please do subscribe, and I will see you next time with another studio log. So thank you so much, and have the best week till we meet again. Bye for now. Bye.